I'm Michaela May. I am with the George J. Howe Company, and I am your 2022 Grove City Area Chamber of Commerce President. Those of you who know me know that I am terrified of public speaking. Thankfully, when I walked in, I saw that our keynote speakers were seated here, 2 of which are doctors. So if I faint or go down, you guys are in charge. Except, I guess only one has a medical degree, so I don't know what Dr. Finch will do. All right. So again, welcome to our annual Chamber Dinner, a celebration of commerce. And after the last 2 years, we indeed have much to celebrate. A thriving Chamber of Commerce and business community, thanks to each person sitting in this room. It truly is an honor and a privilege to serve as the 2022 Grove City Area Chamber of Commerce President. As I entered 2022, the word that kept coming to my mind was focus. How can we focus and hone in on events and resources that will continue to best benefit our members? In 2022, we have already welcomed many new members. We've provided ribbon cuttings and assisted in grand opening celebrations for businesses and organizations who have chosen to plant their roots here in the Grove City community. We offered another successful member-to-member auction. This auction engages our chamber members with each other and allows them to interact and discover ways to do business with one another. We recently participated in Hillview Elementary's 5th grade career day. The school let us know the career fields they wanted to feature, and our chamber found members who are willing to give their time to talk to the students about the careers available in their field, their personal careers, and much more. We're never sure if it's more fun for the students or for the speakers, but what we're sure of is that it's always exciting to invest in the future leaders of our community. Another way in which we do this is through the Business Community Scholarship Fund that we are currently organizing. This scholarship is awarded to a graduating senior with plans to major in business. This year, we are excited to be offering scholarships to both Grove City Area High School and the Grove City Christian Academy. If this scholarship is something you would like to contribute to, we are still taking donations. And we're just getting started. The second half of 2022 will prove to be a busy time for the Chamber. We will have our first ever writing workshop for small businesses, which will take place virtually on Wednesdays in June. The workshop is being offered by one of our newest Chamber members, Heather Cherry Consulting, and we are proud to assist Heather in presenting this workshop that will help small businesses with writing for marketing materials, websites, email marketing, and blogs. This is a free workshop and a great opportunity for your business or organization to tell your story. Saturday, September 10th, we will host our trade show and wellness expo at the Memorial Park. Vendors can set up displays and interact with the community to show them what it is that they do, what they offer, and how the community can do business with and support them. We would love to see you there showcasing your business or organization. And on Wednesday, September 14th, we'll be back here at the Grove City Country Club, where we will have our 41st annual Chamber Day Golf Scramble. Members can put together golf teams to enjoy a day of networking, food, fun, and golf. Sponsors and donors can take this opportunity to put their name in front of 120 golfers and volunteers as a way to let them know you're ready to do business with them. This is such a fun day, and we hope to see many of you there. Now, this next one I think will garner a lot of excitement. Our chamber has been asked to take over the Wine Walk, previously organized by Old Town Grove City. We are excited to be able to continue this popular and successful event that shines a light on our downtown merchants. We are currently working on plans for the Wine Walk and hope to have it in November. If you are interested in participating in any way, please let us know. We would love to have you be a part of this wonderful event. And as usual, we will close out our year with Christmas in the Park. It has become a cherished tradition in our community, with both children and adults enjoying the lighted Christmas displays. We've appeared on lists in Pittsburgh and for the state of Pennsylvania that feature things to see and do during the holiday season. We would love to have even more of our merchants represented with lighted displays, so think about how you might want to participate. We are lucky and thankful to have such supportive partners at the Borough of Grove City who make it possible to hold this event each year. So as you can see, 2022 will prove to be a great and successful year for our chamber. And I can't close without thanking our director, Beth Black. Beth, your tireless daily work does not go unnoticed, so thank you for all that you do. And I also have to thank our fantastic board of directors who are an absolute joy to serve with. Our board is constantly looking at the events and opportunities our chamber offers to make sure they are truly beneficial for our members. We are proud to say that everything we do and the decisions we make are with our members' best interest in mind. And again, I want to thank everyone seated in this room and to those members that are not here tonight. Without all of you, none of this is possible. You make the Grove City area the best place to work and do business. Thank you. And so now I would like to turn things over to our keynote speakers for this evening. They are Grove City Area School District Superintendent, Dr. Jeffrey Finch, CEO of the Franklin and Grove City YMCA, Adam Cook, and President of AHN Grove City, Dr. David Tubbs. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Michaela. So as I was getting ready for the event tonight, I was getting dressed up in my suit and admiring myself in the mirror. And my beautiful wife reminded me that I'm one green top hat away from ranting about how the neighbor kids are always after me Lucky Charms. So put in my place, I am now well prepared to introduce the speakers and the topic for tonight. So I'm actually very excited about this. This has been something that I was invited in to be a part of almost a year ago, and it's a very exciting opportunity for you to get a vision into some of the things that are going on within this community that I think have significant opportunity to impact both not just the children of this community, but also the greater community and the economic stability of the community. So I'm very excited to have Jeff Finch from the Grove City Area School District start us off and get us into the program.
Okay, so the toughest part of my job, thank you, other than the technology, is going to be the time limit. So I have 8 minutes, I'll let you know that ahead of time. We have a 3-part presentation, and I worry about what Eric Thomas has to say anytime he gets up here, and if I stretch the time, I'm going to be in a more difficult position with his criticism. So for you, Eric, I'm going to move it right along. So, I am excited to kick this off and to share with you something that you may have heard a little bit about. There have been some newspaper articles, but really I want you to think as we present this today that we didn't come here today to tell you about anything that we've finished or anything that we believe that these 3 primary organizations that are initiating things intend to do alone. It's really about a message of building something as a community around a topic that should matter greatly to every member of the community. And you'll understand as we go along. So my part of this presentation is to set the context through a little bit of the recent history of work around the idea of early child education and care. So it starts with the idea of why. For you as members of the chamber and members of the community, I want to give you several reasons why early child education and care matter greatly, beyond the obvious, that we all care about children, that kids matter, that we want to do nice things for kids. I want you to think like the members of our business community that understand things like a healthy and strong economy, having a place to live that is competitive, that is a desire to be a part of. And then I want you to think about not just the kindness we want to show children, but I want you to think about what children grow to be. the greatest resource of the ongoing development of our community and our economy. And what early child education and care is about is making sure that we comprehensively support the healthy development of children so every one of them has the best chance to reach their full potential. And any research that you study will show that the vulnerability to that trajectory is greatest in the earliest years. So a little bit of the history. In 2016-17, Grove City Area School District was conducting a demographic study and enrollment projection, and most of the community was attentive to the fact that we were building a new school building, which was an elementary school, K-5. And in designing that building, we wanted to plan for the future, and we wanted to understand where we were, where our community was, and what we wanted to provide in the future. It wasn't to build today's need, it was to build for tomorrow's growth. So in doing that, we started to look at the fact that we were talking about building an elementary school as though it's the foundation to our educational program, when quickly we realized that's not accurate. The foundation starts much earlier, and it's what is happening in those critical developmental years before kindergarten that needs to be respected as the foundation. Now, Pennsylvania Department of Education had invited me as the superintendent of the district to be one of 30 superintendents or school districts selected to be in a cohort called the Superintendent's Academy, and to travel monthly to Harrisburg and work with the department and these 30 superintendents under the guidance of the National Center on Education and the Economy. NCEE is an economist group originally that began studying the world's highest performing educational jurisdictions in the late 60s. And it was looking at how our position in the United States was slowly then rapidly falling back in the competitive aspect of the world's best when it comes to education. And through that 2-year program in training, very early on we touched on 9 core building blocks of the world's highest performing jurisdictions. Their hows may have been different, but their whys were rooted in the 9 building blocks. Number 1 being comprehensive, uncompromised support to early child education and care. So we realized that this was an area we needed to pay a lot of attention as the true foundation. And I have to mention that first and foremost, Grove City College is an anchor when it comes to partnership with our school district, a higher ed institution right across the street that we've always worked very well with. So Grove City College, Grove City Area School District, and our next door neighbor at our elementary and middle school, the Ymca, who was already very involved in partnership, agreed, let's get together all the early child education providers in our 90 square miles of a school district. So the preschool programs and the daycares, and we invited them all to sit down and meet one another and have a conversation about what's going on in early child education. And I'm going to leave off care at that point, because we weren't really there in talking about it. So we got everyone together. This is in 16-17, and the district shared data that I don't know if any of it will surprise you, but this has remained consistent still. About 50% of all the students registering in our kindergarten have not participated in a licensed preschool program or organized daycare. That doesn't mean that every one of them are not in a good spot because of it. But the question was, why? We noticed that we also have very wide performance gaps, particularly in grades K through 3. When we benchmark against national norms, very, very wide performance gaps. We also know that our lowest measure of performance in state testing is in our grade 3, which is the first year that they publish that data. And then we start to close those gaps by grade 5 and then through middle school and into high school. So what we realized was we were playing a lot of catch up. Higher than state average number of primary grade level students that needed services such as speech, OT, PT, and other health-related issues were being identified in school and then serviced through special education. And many school-based supports are being initiated after developmental thresholds. So the barriers we ran into, you can see them there. We found in talking to those providers that even though 50% of our kids weren't in preschool, every provider that was there that day had full capacity with the wait list. That meant that there were no openings. They were fearful of the critical shortage of early childhood education and child care workers. That's pre-COVID. Access to pediatric medical care. There was quality pediatric medical care here, but it wasn't abundant. It wasn't reaching all the students or all the children. Transportation was a question, information to educate new parents to understand the value of regularity of benchmark proactive care for their kids, and a stimulating environment for preparing them for education. Facilities costs and qualifying resources, fragmented supports, and quite honestly, a very intimidating process to grow these types of programs. So in 2019, maybe you saw it in the newspaper article, the district took the initiative to invite stakeholders from Penn State, Grove City College, Slippery Rock University, all the early child education and care providers. We reached out to to the medical networks. George Junior Republic. I see Amy here from the United Way. And we had an arrival of about 35 participants that went through Ymca Institute's human-centered design training. We needed to learn how to work together because we weren't naturally connected as you might think we should be. So we focused through the theme of early child education and care, human-centered design training, to discover how to more effectively communicate and begin to work together. I see Keith Saltrick is in this photo. You know, a local partner who was willing to participate just to understand better as a member of our community what we were trying to do. Quite honestly, after that, some members of the group may think it kind of fell flat. This is still pre-COVID, but it was hard to get things lifted. But key partnerships began to form and take action. And we focused on Julius Richmond, if any of you know that from the medical community, former Surgeon General of the United States, who's credited with starting the Head Start initiative, summarized 3 accelerants for social change: the prevalence of a well-researched knowledge base, the existence of political and public will, and a codified social strategy. And what we recognized is we can't shoot from the hip. We began to study the work of NCEE, the highest performing educational jurisdictions, but also the 6 that have the strongest comprehensive early child education and care supports. We began with a small group to understand that we're seeing things that we're missing here, creating the relative deprivation, that demand the political and public will to build something together, because it can't be built separately, and to start to establish a vision for all children and families to have access to comprehensive early child education and care. And 3 partners surfaced, not to own this, but to stimulate this. The YMCA of Grove City Area School District, and AHN, who I would say, I don't know how or why, but arrived at just the right time. And connected instantly, the higher ed institutions of Grove City College and Slippery Rock University, Mercer County Head Start partnered directly in with the first opening of the initiative. And the link is all of you and everybody else that you know, is that the cogs in that machine need to work together, and the hands putting them together don't represent us, they represent the community. Building a machine that is a system, knowing that a system is more than the sum of its parts, but the components have to reinforce one another. School districts need to quit dabbling in the expertise of healthcare because they have 1 or 2 nurses. When we have a qualified healthcare network down the road that can integrate right into our existence, where all of our children are, except we weren't reaching young enough. Bring in a partner like the YMCA, and the response is partnership. Service to community YMCA, wellness, AHN and Highmark, education, Grove City Area School District, Grove City College, Slippery Rock University, and it doesn't say equals community, it says plus community. The strength of the community to know that a healthy economy is generated by the healthiest, most capable kids growing into adults. So a collaborative effort to set out to initiate an unprecedented approach to repurpose One of those problems, remember, was they didn't have the facilities to grow and the staff to do it. So we converted an old elementary building that we were going to tear down to give some under roof space, but it needed a lot of work. And when we invited AHN in, I'm confident to say the last thing you needed, Dr. Tuppence, was more old building space to fix. But he recognized that we need to do this in the same house together. So on top of the transition to Grove City Hospital, to stick his neck out and ask AHN and Highmark to work on another project was bold, but we're working on it, and we want to partner all the way through graduation. So to transition to our next part, I ask again, why early child education and care? There's the answer, because every community member is a stakeholder in the need to provide a world-class system of comprehensive supports for our young children. It's not education alone. It's not healthcare alone. It's the community together. The codified strategy to have one system, not separate systems, that our entire community has the will. We need you to have the political and public will to help us move barriers that compel us to stay apart. We need to be together. Just like going to the borough council to ask for an alternate use permit to get a professional office in a building that's supposed to be a school building, to be able to get a healthcare provider in the same house. And the council helping us take that step to allow it. And the transition, when I thought about introducing Adam Cook next and then Dr. Tuppence, was a Fred Rogers quote, "We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say it's not my child, not my community, not my world, but not my problem. But then there are those who see the need and respond. And I consider those people my heroes." I say this with all sincerity. We don't know if this is going to work in the end. It's just getting started. But regardless, there's a need, it is seen, and people that are already heroes are people like Adam Cook and the mission of the YMCA to service community, and David Tuppence and the mission for AHN to bring in a network of comprehensive care to our region, and for them to partner with the school to take a risk to do something that I don't think anybody has done in our state, and that is create a collaborative of support for our most valuable resource, which is young children. So I turn it over next to truly, I think, one of our community heroes in representing the YMCA, Adam Cook.
Good evening. I was just making sure everybody's still awake. Good evening. All right.
You're not my hero anymore.
It really is truly great to look around the room and see so many volunteers, advocates, donors, and partners that really are going to make this truly special for our community. We certainly would not be as far along as we are in this project without your support and the community support. Early childhood development sets the foundation for lifelong learning, behavior, and health. We take great pride in ensuring that our community will take steps so students can reach their fullest potential, and we want children to become independent, self-confident, and curious learners. We can work well with each other. Let's take a look at what's inside the Early Education Center. So currently, there are about 138 families that we're providing care to in the center. 5 preschool classrooms, including a partnership with Mercer County Head Start and Pre-K Counts. So 2 of those classrooms are designed for low-income families within Grove City Area School District. We also have infant toddler classrooms that are in that space, and kids transition as early as 6 weeks and to age appropriate and developmentally appropriate. So one of the things that's different about our center is they just don't turn 1 and move to the next room. If they're not ready to move, we hold them back to be developmentally appropriate to go to the next phase. So there's infant toddler classrooms. There's a licensed after-school program With our connection with the school district, we bus kids to the early education center. We have 2 licensed after-school classrooms that they go into. And in those classrooms, they do small activities, they do gross motor skills, they also do outside recreation and education. In the indoor gross motor room, we're structuring it like physical education. So our goal is to help children feel more confident as they go to kindergarten, is that they will actually transition teachers. So imagine preschool walking down the hallway, which we're going to see in the next slide. They go to the multi-purpose room, they're handed off to a physical education teacher, they're learning phys ed, and then they return to their classroom. That transition is key for kids entering kindergarten. Kids who go to kindergarten registration may feel intimidated, they may feel anxious. These are ways and strategies that we're going to work together to help that be better for all the children. The indoor gross motor room for toddlers, we have that room that's very unique in centers. You don't see this in a lot of child care centers. So the indoor gross toddler room is, we say constructive play, but it's also a great room to use to help kids who have trouble walking or might have physical disabilities that need extra support. So that room is in there. We also have my favorite room, which is a library. So we actually have a library in a child care center. How cool is that? So kids can go in, they can check out a book, take it home, read it with their families, and return that book. And again, that homework and help we think will be good. We're also using the library as a technology center. So that'll be for small group activities and to help them learn how to use Chromebooks and assess those things earlier before they hit kindergarten. Access to Grove City Memorial Park, again, a huge part of this to not only help with summer camp, but also all of our classes so they'll be able to go out and do outdoor recreation and education. So these 2 pictures are just illustrations of the center. The top right one is kids learning how to walk appropriately in a hallway. So kind of a mission moment. When we first moved into the center, it was really interesting because if you were ever in our other facilities, we had 3 child care facilities that we condensed and moved into this building. At that time, we were serving about 99 children. Now we're up to 138, so you can see that we are trying to get off the wait list and take more kids as we hire staff. But it was so interesting to see the kids after they transitioned. So if you started in the infant toddler building and you went to preschool, you never got to see your teachers again. So your infant teachers or your 2-year-old teacher, you didn't see them again. Well, now they see them in the hallway and they're walking up to them like, there's my teacher that I had last year, there she is. The excitement on the kids' face is incredible. And the fact that each classroom has windows that they can see outside has just made a world of difference. They all go out to the window and they watch, oh, there's my mom leaving, like they can see this now. So it really is an awesome setup. The group on the right, they're younger. You can see they're strapped to the, we call it the polywog. So when they go outside, the kids are safe. They're strapped onto that. And it helps them keep them together as they go out. That's a young classroom. The right side is actually renovated room in the center. I wanted everybody to have an opportunity to see what a classroom looks like. This is the 1-year-old room. So as we went in and started to renovate, we were adding air conditioning in every classroom, obviously changing out flooring and everything that needs to be done to meet DHS's standards for licensing. Oh, I guess I thought I had one more slide. All right. So just to reemphasize, tonight is we're emphasizing, the world that we live in, we need to share responsibility as we focus on the future. And I go back to the original question that we were asked. What will early education in our community look like in 5 years? How will we best use our resources to help the medical and behavioral needs of our children in our community? And at this time, I would like to introduce Dr. David Tubbins, AHN Grove City President.
Thank you. So I'm gonna wrap this up, but I wanted to give you a look. You've heard about the history of how this got started. Adam just gave you a little overview of where we are now, and what I'm going to talk about is kind of the near-term future goals of what we're shooting for and what we still need help with, and then ultimately where we see this going and some future opportunities that we're still developing. So the part where we've already opened up the pre-K, that's great. But the pre-K by itself isn't the remarkable revolutionary thing that Jeff was talking about. It's how do we get the health care and the child care intimately partnered together to really love on those kids and provide for their needs in that one place. And so where we're looking to go is to add in the pediatric, and not just pediatrics, but also pediatric behavioral health. One of the things that I think is pretty obvious if you watch any kind of news program is that the current crop of kids is probably one of the most highly stressed and having the most mental health problems of any of the generations that are currently out there. And so we're acknowledging that and looking at ways that we can find areas to address that. And one of the things, besides your typical pediatric setup, is that as part of the behavioral health, when we were talking with the behavioral health specialists at AHN, they said, oh, we have this thing that we've been trying to figure out how we're going to implement it, but this would be a perfect opportunity. And it's that thing called the parent-child interaction therapy. And what that is it's actually designed for kids that are too young for traditional behavioral health therapy, where you have a counselor and you're talking with them and going through that therapy. And this is perfect for the age group that Adam was just talking about, where instead of a therapist interacting with the child, it's actually the child's caregiver, their parent. And what happens is you have a therapist who is observing the parent and their child from behind a two-way mirror or even remotely, and the parent has an earpiece in, and they're being counseled by the therapist on how to interact with the child and provide that therapeutic treatment by actually having that trusted relationship. And it helps both the parent and the child at the same time to develop that relationship and to start to change some of those problematic behaviors. So a very interesting way that we're integrating some of those therapies into this in a very particular way. The other thing that we intentionally are designed into this is that we are not having the pediatric area and the behavioral health area sealed off from each other. We're trying to make the stigma around behavioral health minimized by saying you have a common waiting room. We share a lot of the staff common areas, that registration, all of these things, the entryway to get in here, it's the same whether you're getting routine pediatric care or whether you're doing behavioral health. So this is just a very stylized, high-level view of this is what the old Highland Elementary building looks like from above. And the little shaded blue area is the part where we're going to have the clinic. And this is a representation of what I was just talking about, where you've got peds in one area and behavioral health, but you access them through the same access point, and a lot of the resources are going to be shared between those two. The other thing that you'll notice, and this is very intentional, is we were thinking, who are we trying to serve? And what are the problems that we're trying to address? And one of those key things is part of the problem of getting kids to pediatric care is just how much effort it takes to get them there. You have to potentially take off up to like a half day off from work, go to wherever they are in their pre-K, take them out of pre-K, get them over to the doctor's office, wait around, do the thing, come back, put them back into childcare, and then get back to work. That's a lot of effort. So if you physically locate those two things together, even though there's a public entrance to this, one of the things we're looking to solve as a barrier is with the proper permissions, it would be a no-brainer to basically have the staff from the pre-K bring them to the appointment, and the parents can participate either in person, they just come to the place where it is, or even could we connect them up via telehealth so that they can maybe dial in from their work and have that interaction with the pediatrician or the behavioral health specialist on behalf of their child and not miss out on that. And there's no time, no windshield time involved in that. So just an example of some of the things that we're trying to think creatively and differently about how you're really serving the people that are going to be utilizing these services. So the thing that we want to kind of wrap up, and I have just 2 more slides, and we'll kind of get through them quickly, but this is kind of the meat of where we're going, is that this isn't just about access to early childhood education. It's that combination of socializing the children so that they're more successful when they get to kindergarten, and also addressing those healthcare needs before they get to the school, and Jeff has to employ people to address healthcare issues when he really should be expending those resources on education. And there can be some significant barriers that if we address them early, will make the child much more successful in their journey as well. Think of something as seemingly insignificant as a speech impediment. It can be relatively easily addressed early on, but if the child goes to school with a speech impediment, that can impact socialization, how fun they think that school is, how they engage with their teachers and their classmates, and ultimately their ability to learn within that environment. So a lot of these things, we're looking to shift the solutions earlier on, and therefore we get better outcomes on the other side. So future direction, and the WIFM is the what's in it for me. And this is going back to how Jeff started this, which is there's an ask tonight. And the ask isn't just, hey, we need some rich people to kind of give us some money to get this over the starting line. It's about, why do you care about this? Maybe you don't have preschool age kids. Well, one of the things that I go back to in healthcare, and I think this really aligns with what Jeff was talking about in the educational space, is we talk a lot about something called social determinants of health. And you can see up there that we are looking to start to impact the things that are the conditions in the environment where people are born, live, learn, work, play, worship, and age. And those 5 things are education, healthcare, your neighborhood and the physical environment where you live, social and community context, meaning the supports and the people that come around you to support the things that you're able to do, and then economic stability and access to jobs. And I believe that what we're talking about is a scalable model that we want to use to not just benefit Grove City, but also to reverse the trend of economic instability within rural communities and say, this is what makes rural communities great. That we want to be the people that show other communities how to do this better, how to create an environment where young families want to come and come here for jobs, come here to live, come here because we have great education, great health care, and all of that ultimately leads to economic stability. So that is our dream, that is our hope, that is our wish, and we are looking for people that are looking to collaborate with us, that have maybe a spark of an idea as part of this presentation tonight, want to be part of something great in this community. And yes, if you do have a few extra dollars rolling around in your wallet that you want to contribute, we will be happy to put your name on a classroom or something. But yes, thank you very much for listening to this. We're very excited, and hopefully over the coming years, it won't just be us talking, but we'll be able to give you periodic updates on how this is going. So thank you very much.
We're so honored to have had all 3 of them be able to be here tonight to speak about this collaborative approach to caring for our children and our entire community. So thank you, each of you. One more round of applause for these wonderful gentlemen. And I'm sure they will stick around after to answer any additional questions. All right, it's been my honor to be the executive director of the Grove City Area Chamber of Commerce since 2008. Over the past 14 years, I've had the honor of working with so many wonderful and dedicated individuals serving on the Chamber's Board of Directors. Each board member gives of their time and their talent to make sure that Grove City continues to be a great place to live, work, and play. I say it every year, but we are very lucky to have a group of people who serve because they care about our entire community. Having the same focus builds a cohesive group. I'll read off the names of our current board and ask that they stand if they are able to have been here. Please hold applause and we will recognize them together. And you can follow along in your program if you'd like. So, beginning with our executive board of directors, our president, Michaela May from the George J. Howe Company. Vice President, Amanda Arnhold, Shannon's Candy Kitchen. Treasurer, Eric Montgomery, Cash Dollar and Associates. Past President, Bree Freeling with Armstrong. Our marketing chair, John Inman with Grove City College. And our membership chair, Mitch McFeely with Mars Bank. Continuing with the rest of the board of directors, Adam Cook, Grove City YMCA. Tom Gregg, retired lucky man that he is. Amy Malloy, SR Law. David Tuppence, AHN Grove City. Carmen DeRose, Grove City Premium Outlets. Matt Gordon, Davic Benefit Consultants, Inc., and he's getting married this week, so that's why he's not here for sure. Dino Neofatistos, Main Street Diner. Jeff Finch with Grove City Area School District. Karen Mullen, Fairhaven Farms. And Ray Powell, Wendell August Forge. If you join me in giving them a round of applause. And it may just be a coincidence that the three speakers are all three on my board of directors. I promise there's no pressure if you ever want to join our board. But I do sincerely want to thank each member of our board of directors. Without their support and enthusiasm, I would not be able to do what I do, and our chamber would simply not be the same. Their support has been especially wonderful over the past 2 years as I have worked solo as the only staff for our chamber, and I really truly do appreciate their support. Every year we recognize our outgoing board members who have served their full terms and have reached the end of their service on our board of directors. Tonight we want to recognize one of those board members who retired from our board of directors at the end of 2021 and thank her for all that she did. We are proud of her service to our chamber and to our community. Abby Turner Michael from Turner Insurance Agency, Inc., serving from 2016 to 2021. Simply not long enough. But Abby. So we have a little something for her. So from wonderful Wendell August, we get things made, and so this is a nice little reminder of your time with us, and we just treasure you so much. And we always recognize our previous president for their service to the Grove City Chamber Board of Directors. Our 2021 president was Bree Freeling from Armstrong. Bree not only shines as a wonderful person and leader, she usually also sparkles too, with her shoes and her accessories, and tonight, she'll prove it. So thank you, Bree, for being you, and come on up and get something special. And we are also truly grateful to our current board president, Michaela May. She's doing a great job so far, and I know the remaining months of her presidency will be wonderful as we work together to serve the chamber. And she was scared to death to present tonight. And let's hear it for Michaela, because she did amazing. Now, every year we present a community service award. We have a committee of past recipients that reviews any nominations we receive and chooses the next recipient of the Community Service Award. The recipient is kept a secret except to the committee members and myself. This award goes to someone who is doing good work in the community. They are someone who puts others before themselves. They work for the common good and often do so without recognition. We believe in recognizing these people, and we have a very long history of doing so. If you'll turn in your programs, you can see our list of past recipients. I'll give you a moment to find it. Unfortunately, some we have lost over the years, but their good works live on. Some are here with us this evening, so if you are a past recipient, please stand so that we can honor you together with a round of applause. So please stand. Thank you for the example that each of you have set. Among this group of recipients, believe it or not, is Eric Thomas, who always leads the reveal of our community service recipient. So at this time, I'll turn it over to him. Yes. We love him.
Thank you. Stand up, everybody. Everybody, you've been sitting here for a while, so let's stretch for just a second. Don't be afraid to stand up. You guys left your stuff up here. All right, that's enough. We got to get out of here. I think it was Mark Twain who said, if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. So I didn't have much time, so settle in. We're going to be here for a while. Thanks, Beth. Thank you very much. Before I insult someone's wife, I just need to know, is Will Smith in the room? Is he banned from this organization too for 10 years? Who do I have to slap to get out of this? Right? Just make sure it's a smaller guy trying to do a good job that can't fight back. Well, let's hear it for the three Musketeers, huh? Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. You didn't think I knew their names, did you? There was a fourth, D'Artagnan, but we don't know who that guy was. Anyway, or maybe, I don't have a hand free here. Hold on a second. Maybe they're Mo, Larry, and Curly, right? Anyway, thank you very much, guys. It's a win-win-win situation to do what you're doing. You pulled it together. We think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful for the project you've taken on. So thank you very much for doing that. That was serious. Okay. Dr. David, Mr. President, Doctor. What do I call you? I've gone through the medical, I've got to share this with you for just a second. I've gone through the medical car wash recently in your facilities. I think you have a couple gallons of my blood in your refrigerator. I've had some x-rays. I took a CAT scan. I had an ultrasound. They thought I was pregnant. I know I look pregnant. Not. That's been decided. I'm going to see Dr. Shulo tomorrow. I understand you've been inside more people than in this town than anybody. So you know how to deal with people like me, I guess, but my wife just had surgery down in Allegheny General, so thank you for taking care of all us old folks here in town. We're glad you're here. Doc, I'll see you tomorrow. It might be better than what's going on right now, right? Well, I don't want to bore you with all the details. Jeff Finch has done that already. But some time ago, Adam said to me that there was an issue with the permitting, and you saw the diagram of the building, and there was doors that needed to be fixed or added to the building. So Adam asked me to go to a special hearing at the borough office. Okay, Adam, I'll go. Just let me poke my eyes out first. So there was a question about the doors, like I mentioned. Tim Bonner, this was like a scene from A Few Good Men, right? Tim Bonner played the part of Tom Cruise, a little taller, maybe not as handsome, don't know. Adam Cook played the part of Jack Nicholson, sitting on the witness stand, right? And the question was about this door, and Tim kept asking the question about the door, and do we need the door? Did you order the door? What's going on with the door? We need this door. And he finally said, did you order the door? Of course, Adam says, you're damn right I did. He was put in handcuffs and then taken away. I was one of only 2 members of the public in the building. There was a lady there from LA News. Tom Gregg was my friend sitting right next to me. We looked a little goofy sitting side by side. I'm just saying. Not there's anything wrong with that. But Tim looked at me and said, is there anything anybody from the public wants to say? He looked at me and said that. And I declined at that point because I knew tonight was coming. So thank you, Tim Bonner. Actually, I was very impressed with that hearing. Jeff was there. It was very well done by the Borough Council. Tim Bonner has been our solicitor for years. We're very lucky to have him. He's now our state representative. Your attention to detail is unmatched, and we thank you for your service. I voted for you today. You're welcome. Did he think that was sincere? Do you think? Where's President McNulty? I'm disappointed. From the college, he's not here, son of a gun. Well, there's a whole table full of very smart people over there. So if he was here, you tell him this, if he was here, the average IQ would drop by about 20 points, I think, right? He would really bring your average down. So we're glad he's not here. Call him up. Get him on the phone. Where is he? Anyway, I wanted to thank him too, because our granddaughter graduated from, you're talking about pre-K and all this early education. She went to Grove City College pre-K school and just recently graduated. They made a big deal out of it. She wore the cutest little cap and gown. And President McNulty took time out of his busy schedule to announce every kid's name and shake their hand and give them their diploma. And I thought that was really special, and he really did a great job and made memories for those kids. So tell them thank you. So if you want to get him on the phone, I'll tell him thank you. The bad news now is our little Charlie, our little granddaughter, thinks she's done with school. She graduated from Grove City College. She's ready to take on the world, and she's only 4 years old. So, well, I too like to surround myself with smart and successful people. So I need to leave now and find some. That wasn't really good, but actually we have the pillars of the community in this town, in this room right now, and I'm really glad. That's what makes it so much fun. But I have to admit that you've been too kind for too many years to invite me back to this event. Thank you, Beth. But my job is simply to present the facts and tell stories and maybe embellish them just a little bit. The truth is, it's been an eye-opening experience for me learning about the amazing people that live here. We're very blessed. We've scraped the bottom of the barrel a couple of times, like 2016, that was a mess. That guy was an idiot, but for the most part, we found some people who genuinely care and have an amazing heart for service. Especially with what's going on in the world, the bad news never seems to stop, and I think it's more important than ever to celebrate the positive. If each of us then passes that positive energy to people around us, there'll be no time or place for negative thoughts or actions. In the history of the world, there has never been any amount of stress or worry or anxiety or negative thoughts that have had a positive impact on anything. So why waste your time? I think it was John Lennon and Paul McCartney who said, all you need is love. Well, the folks who have received this recognition in the past have given their time and talents to make lives better for people they don't even know. We're going to meet another one of those people tonight. And as a young Boy Scout, I always enjoyed going camping. It's something about gathering wood and setting up tents and building a fire that is satisfying, working hard toward a goal, and then being the one to light the match. There's no gasoline or lighter fluid or gas logs in the woods, right? You have to light it with a match. It's the kind of those kitchen matches that Clint Eastwood would flick with his thumb and light a cigar. Pretty cool, Clint Eastwood. Well, the goal was to start the fire with just one match, and you had to make sure everything was dry and you put the match in the right place and which way was the wind blowing and that kind of stuff. Do you remember the scene in Castaway with Tom Hanks when he worked so hard to build that fire? And he's on the beach and he's yelling, he's by himself and yelling and screaming about, "I built fire!" He was all excited about it. So he created fire, and that's kind of what it's like, watching the process of solid logs boil down to intense coals, deep red coals on the ground. Watching those coals taking on a life of their own is much more mesmerizing than any screens we watch today. So after a good night's sleep under the stars, and in the morning it's time to pack up and take care of the campsite. And you want to make it look as natural as nobody's ever been there before, right? We were taught to leave a place better than the way you found it. I didn't realize it at the time, but we were paying it forward to the next group so that they could enjoy it as much as we did. The person receiving our recognition tonight learned that same lesson and pays it forward every day. Dedication to improving any project or organization comes naturally. Many groups and nonprofit organizations have learned that having our recipient involved makes everything better. And when the tide comes in, all the boats in the harbor are raised up. The United Way is a good example. Amy Foley is the executive director of that organization and shared these words. She said, "I have been with the Grove City Area United Way for 15 years. And during that time, I've worked with a lot of board members. Never have I worked with a board member who has been so involved in so many different parts of our community and actively," she used all the capital letters in that word, actively involved. Some people serve on boards to check off a box for their employer or out of a sense of obligation, while others serve because they genuinely want to give back to the community. He sincerely cares about each organization that he's a part of. He has actively guided the Grove City Area United Way for many years as our treasurer and has also served as our vice president and president. He has been an integral part of moving our organization forward and making it stronger. It has been a joy and an inspiration to work with him." Unquote, Amy Foley. Kathy DeStassi is the financial administrator for the YMCA and added, "Thanks to the involvement of our honoree tonight, our United Way is strong, and as a result, has had a much greater reach and has been able to help more people in our community than we otherwise could have. He made that group better than how he found it." Service above self is the foundation of the Rotary Club. He has served as a board member and treasurer of that group, and without his hard work and dedication, the club would not be where it is today. Better than how he found it. The women who have come into the Alpha and Omega Center in Slippery Rock have benefited from the volunteer work of our recipient tonight. He has been a continual source of support and encouragement and has committed countless hours to making our community better than how he found it. Our own executive director, Beth Black, said he was a member of our board, vice president, and president. He is an asset not just to the chamber, but to our entire community, as he gives of his time and talents for the betterment of the area. We at the chamber are very blessed to know him and be able to count on his support and wisdom better than how he found it. I want to quote a guy that I called Curly earlier tonight, the CEO of the YMCA, Mr. Adam Cook. You were Curly in the Mo Larry Curly gate, just so you know. I don't know who Mo is Jeff. So anyway. Adam said he served on a number of committees at the Y, which include fiscal management and audit, financial development, and capital campaign. He currently serves as our chief volunteer officer. He is a man of great faith. He gives advice freely. He teaches and he serves. He has made the YMCA better. The French Creek Council of the Boy Scouts of America has been impacted by a recipient. He has served as a board member and treasurer and has received numerous awards for service, including the District Award of Merit and the highest award a volunteer can receive in the French Creek Council. As a young scout, he worked hard to become an Eagle Scout, which is the highest youth award in scouting. He provided inspiration and guidance for his 3 sons by serving as a scoutmaster and leading all of them to become Eagle Scouts themselves. That alone is a remarkable achievement. He helped his boys to be better than they thought they could be. I have a whole pile of paper here, and all these kind, heartfelt words from other leaders and organizations in this community not only ring true, but further illustrate the lessons that our honoree learned as a Boy Scout many years ago. Get involved, improve the world around you, and make everything you touch better than the way you found it. That's a mantra I think we can all learn from. Make your world a better place. We're very blessed to have someone like this in our community. Our recipient tonight is a dedicated husband, a father of 3 sons, and a grandfather of 5. I'm very proud to present the 2022 Community Service Award to Mr. David Poland. You're welcome. Come on up here. I want you to turn around your boards with it. You hold both at the same time? You want to say a few words? You can put that down right there. There you go. It's all yours. Just 1 second. Where's his boys? The boys are in the back. Come on out, guys.
Not sure what to really say. Thanks for all the kind words that were said, and I'll just think a little bit about Eric talking about the Boy Scouts. And part of the Scout motto is to serve others. And one of the points of the Scout law is to be helpful. And that's 2 traits that I've tried to live by as I was an Eagle Scout and tried to live by that. It's an honor and a privilege to work alongside all the community leaders and leaders of the organizations that I've been associated with and all the volunteers. They certainly have helped to make the job easier. And my wife, Christy, and I have been in the community about 12 years now, and we've always felt welcomed, and we certainly feel blessed to call Grove City our home. Thank you.
We have some representatives from our political offices. Come on up, come on up, come on up. Mr. Bonner, you're last. Is that right? Come on up. This has grown over the years, and now the politicians are giving you awards as well.
Well, it is my pleasure, on behalf of Congressman Mike Kelly, I would like to present a certificate of special congressional recognition to David Poland for his outstanding and invaluable service to the Grove City community.
Unlike, I can't remember your name, last name is May. Yeah, I like to talk in front of people. Sorry, but this is about you. And wow, I was really impressed. Yeah. So on behalf of the Senate, I'm not going to read this because it's pretty long, but it says how awesome you are. this is the kind of citation I enjoy giving when you hear about somebody who's served the community like this. I tell my kids, the only citation I want to hear that you get. But on behalf of the Senate of Pennsylvania, Senator Brooks, and myself and the other staff, I do congratulate you. And it's exciting. I'm sure this is like, you're going to be doing many more great things, because somebody like you probably can't sit still. Is that true? For those of you who know him, he's probably not done yet, huh? There you go. Thank you. He didn't vote for me, but he voted for you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here tonight on this occasion to acknowledge the service and leadership that David Poland has provided to our community. I met David before he came to Grove City. He accepted the position as treasurer of the Grove City Medical Center. So I had that opportunity to meet him as he was coming to Grove City. And our board made a tremendous decision in hiring David as the treasurer of the Grove City Medical Center, where David served for approximately 10 years. And within the boardroom, David was a very respected voice, and he provided us with very pertinent and essential information about our finances. And we always knew what David told us was accurate and correct, and we relied upon him in a number of areas, even beyond finances. Ultimately, we did appoint David as the acting CEO when we were going through a transition period. But I know personally how influential and how great a person David is, not only in his professional life, but also in the service he's given to his community. And in that regard, it was a pleasure obtaining this citation that was approved by the House of Representatives, honoring David for his service to the Grove City Medical Center and to our community. We are well served to have him as a member of our community, and I congratulate him tonight on this award.
And I'll just give you a big old hug. Thank you. So one more round of applause for Mr. Dave Poland. And truly, our community was blessed the day that you decided to move here. So thank you for making that decision and serving us so well. And you boys, wow, you're tall. You get it from your dad. Thank you for being here to honor your dad.
From high school sports to community events and beyond, you can find all of your favorite local shows on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Hi, I'm Tricia from the Butler Buzz. You can watch my show or other local programming like Up for Adoption or Hunting Nostalgia, only on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Check us out right now on Channel 100 or search Armstrong Neighborhood Channel on YouTube for playlists and much more. Spirit, town pride, community. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
No one plans for a plumbing emergency. If it happens, turn to the experts at Armstrong Comfort Solutions. Matt Mertz Plumbing is now part of the Armstrong Comfort family. Do you have a leaking pipe, a toilet backing up? When you need a plumber, you want an honest, licensed professional. We're available 24/7. Our plumbing experts can handle any need or emergency, including trenchless sewer replacement. Armstrong Comfort Solutions and Matt Mertz Plumbing, two great local companies coming together to better serve Western PA.
Your world can change in an instant. But what if this could have been avoided? With monitored smoke detectors from Guardian Protection, our 24/7 monitoring immediately alerts you and first responders when needed. Because keeping your family and home safe is our #1 priority. Life is challenging, but keeping your family safe shouldn't be. Guardian Protection. Call 1-800-PROTECT. and let us protect your world.